Australia to be coal free by the 2030s. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. We're going to have a look at this article from Yahoo Finance because, well, Australia will be coal free by 2030, everyone. What do you reckon? Or by the mid-2030s. So, coal expected to be offline by mid-2030. Coal is leaving Australia's national energy market much faster than initially thought and is expected to be offline by the mid-2030s. That's the assessment of outgoing Energy Security Board Chair Kerry Schott. Coal is inexplicably leaving the system and will leave faster than initially thought, she told a climate and energy summit hosted by the Australian Financial Review on Monday. It's really struggling to make money. Dr. Schott described coal as being what coaches were to the motor car. Now, I'm not a fan of that analogy. What I think we need to look at is what happened in the past. When was the last big energy disruption that happened in the world on a significant level? I'm going to have a shot of coffee. And please try and guess it in the comments, guys. Let me know. Let me know what you think the last big, significant energy disruption in the world. Okay. If you guessed whale oil, that's the argument I'd make. Okay, here's a sample of good old whale oil, everyone. It was used significantly for lighting, for lubrication of machines, and it fell out of use in, well, the later half of the 19th century. You can see here. I'll zoom in. Here's US whale oil and sperm oil imports. Sperm oil is the red line. Whale oil, the blue line. You can see here how in 1855 it peaked. It peaked and then it just steadily went down because whale oil was replaced for lighting as well by other synthetic oils, by kerosene. That's why. So is that what we're seeing here? Is this the end of coal? Has coal peaked? We have a look here at the coal futures at the moment. This is, the 1 year chart from Trading Economics. We're sitting at $244.50 USD. So it's gone right up. So are we at the peak? You know what? I'll bring up Trading Economics here as well, so we can look at it at a much greater time frame. So we have it here. Let's go out to 10 years, or all data. All data. So, okay, we don't have that much data. 2009. So that's showing you how drastic that climb is. But has coal peaked? We're talking, the analogy of whale oil, it was replaced by something that was cheaper, easier to manufacture, more cleaner to burn. It didn't smell as bad as a whale oil. Sure, it was a fire risk with the kerosene oil, but it was a better product. Now, coal. So it's not really coaches to the motor car. That's not the right analogy. Is coal the whale oil to the kerosene oil? Now, you tell me, what are we replacing it with? Solar panels and other renewable energy sources. Are they as reliable as coal power? That doesn't seem to be yet, does it? It frankly doesn't seem to be. They're dependent on variables outside of our control, where coal, is dependent on ensuring you have sufficient stockpiles. And we're seeing some people, particularly in India, are falling over because they don't have enough. What's China doing to secure their power situation? They're rationing power to manufacturing facilities, and they're trying to source more natural resources. They're not building solar panels. It's almost like the scam that they're selling to us. So, it comes as Prime Minister Scott Morrison and Energy Minister Angus Taylor put the finishing touches on an emissions reduction plan. The Nationals want a guarantee the plan will not adversely impact jobs and industries in regional and rural areas or drive up power prices. How can they guarantee that? I want to guarantee that this shift to carbon neutrality isn't going to cost lives on a global scale, because energy, electricity, It's the best thing that happened to humanity, everyone. That and clean water. They're the two things you kind of want. The government wants to be able to announce a commitment to net zero emissions by 2050. Instead of a preference and a stronger 2030 target in time for the upcoming COP26 climate summit in Glasgow. In a signal to the junior coalition partner holding out on an agreement, Mr. Taylor emphasized reaching net zero emissions by 2050 was not the same as having no emissions. He labelled a business-led proposal to tighten obligations on polluters through the government's existing climate safeguard mechanisms a carbon tax by stealth. Mr. Taylor is expected to address a Committee for Economic Development of Australia forum on Tuesday about the path to net zero. The ESB has proposed a different mechanism to pay providers to retain existing power generation and ensure reliability in the power grid as more renewables come on board. Power's just going to get more expensive, guys, isn't it? It's just going to get more expensive. We don't really have an alternative here. Now, here's a quote I want to bring up, everyone, because we look here, this is from Dr. Alan Finkel, the chief scientist, who was asked if a reduction in carbon emissions by 1.3%, what impact would it make on climate change of the world? And his response was that it would be virtually nothing. Now, the reason he was asked about 1.3% was because that's our emissions here in Australia. It'll make no difference to the world. We're just going to impact our ability to develop as a nation. We can't even compete manufacturing-wise. Now we're going to hamstring ourselves with power production. Awesome. Well, I'm sure people will feel good. The country's so bloody big. Come on. This is just ludicrous. Utterly ludicrous. Going to make no difference. How about we peg our emission targets to other major polluting countries like China? China's not a developing country anymore. Their economic complexity is far superior to ours. Anyway, Labor's climate spokesman Chris Bowen said the government not only needed to commit to net zero by 2050, but legislate the commitment and significantly improve its medium-term targets. So let's have a talk about this one, everyone. Well, here you go. Now we have both sides of Parliament pushing for net zero, zero emissions, or, well, no, carbon neutral by 2050, everyone. We still will have some emissions, but still, why are we flagellating ourselves? Why are we punishing ourselves? Why are we limiting our ability to provide cheap energy for our nation to make absolutely no difference to the world, while other nations aren't? Our emissions should be pegged. Let's peg them to China. Why not? If they're not reducing, what's the point in us reducing? There's some that argue that Australia should pursue a colonial-style approach to economic development and investment because we're falling so far behind. How can we even have energy security with all these renewables? This is what we need. We need cheap, reliable power if you want to have an innovative society. You know what would be great? If they go nuclear. Then you get the best of both worlds. You reduce emissions and you have reliable power. There you go. And in the long term, it does work out more cost effective. People are terrified about storage, but it's not that much you need to store, guys. It's hardly anything. There's a lot of desert out there. And if you've been out there, you'll realize there's plenty of places to store it. What do you think, everyone? Do you think this is going to be an election winner or an election loser? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. If you're a fan and enjoy the channel, there's a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon, sign up for our Twitch or our Heise Live channel. Support us by using our links from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Signing up for SelfWealth or Stake, buying our merch from HeiseSays, using Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or supporting us via PayPal. Take care. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.